What's up guys, I'm Redken Global Artistic Ambassador Maggie Perry, and today I'm gonna be teaching you this beautiful dimensional brunette look. It's super easy and I'm gonna be using some of my favorite shades EQ, so get ready. Okay, gorgeous, what do you wanna do with your hair today?
Kind of like whatever you want, I don't really care.
You gotta be careful saying that to me. I know we were talking about a nice brunette, and what I'm envisioning is lightening it all over to like a chocolate brown, right?
I love that, yeah.
And then maybe blending in your natural just at the base a little bit so it grows out really nicely. And then adding some like subtle highlights all over to it. What do you think about that?
I love that. I'm just like excited. I'm like, do whatever you want.
I think it will look so good with your skin tone. It's gonna be gorgeous. All right.
Sounds good.
Let's do it. All right, team, so the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna establish our base color. I like to do that before I go in with any highlights on major transformations like this. I like to have my clean foundation of my color first and then go in and do my highlights. You can do them at the same time. This is just how I prefer to do it. So first, we're gonna go in, we're gonna use Cover Fusion. For her root, I'm going to use equal parts of 6N and 6NA. I like to introduce an ash color when I'm doing the base to control the hot root, so the NA is gonna do that for us. And then on the ends, I'm gonna bump it up to a 7 and a 6 NCH. I'm gonna do half and half of these tones to give us that beautiful lifted chocolate color. Okay, so we're just gonna do an all over color, very simple. I'm gonna pull this base color down about 2 to 3 inches. I forgot to mention also, for my mixing, I use 20 volume for our root color and 30 volume for our ends, just to give us a little extra bump on the ends. So just a classic application. I'm gonna apply all of the roots first in each section, and then I'm gonna go back and apply the ends. So I'm gonna work my way through about 1/2 inch sections, applying this color thoroughly, making sure I'm saturating really nice. All right, guys, we just finished applying her color all over. I like to pull things straight back so that it's out of their face for processing. We're gonna let this process for 45 minutes and then we're gonna come back. I'm already so excited. I can see the delicious chocolatey color coming through and I can't wait to show you guys that. Look at this beautimous chocolate brown. This is so perfect. Do you love it?
I love it.
I feel like we can stop here and be happy. Like, this is so stunning. It looks so natural. I'm really
Total difference. Like, it's so good.
I know, I'm really happy with this lift. Okay, now let's add some highlights to this to really finish it off.
I'm ready.
Okay, let's get into sectioning. So she parts off of the middle part, and I want to make sure that I'm preserving a lot of dimension, especially at the crown. So what I'm gonna do is comb the back section back like this, and then I'm gonna come into this top part, and I'm gonna draw a narrow triangle to the back, like so. And then I'm gonna copy that same triangle on the other side. So we're gonna finish off with a narrow triangle here at the top. And then I'm gonna go in on the back and scoop out this back section, kind of round it out. And I'm gonna clip this away, and we're not gonna highlight this section at all. So at the end, this section will fall over and be our pocket of depth on top of the head. It's a really nice way to preserve dimension. Make sure that you're not highlighting into this. It's gonna lay on top and be a nice veil. So we'll just clip this away, and we're not gonna touch her at all. Now I'm gonna come in around her face and see where the recession starts to hit, which is right here. And then I'm gonna come in about a 1/2 inch around her face for my face framing section. And then I'm gonna come straight down off of that section, down to her ear, about 1 inch thick around the ear. So the one up here at the top is a 1/2 inch, and then the one down here by her ear is about 1 inch. The reason why is because I want to do a nice thin face framing, but I still want the ends of that face frame to come out and finish and pop. And you get that by creating a thicker section by the ear. These sections right here finish off that skinny piece and give you that nice pop on the ends. And then I'm gonna come up to the top of the triangle, pull it down just behind the ear, and this will be our side section. We're gonna do this exact same thing over here on this side again, pulling the hair back, finding that recession point. It's different on everybody. Putting your comb right at that point, combing back, coming in about a 1/2 inch, connecting the dots, creating our face frame section, putting our comb right at that point, dragging it down to the ear to create our inch thick section by the ear. Coming to the top of that triangle, at the top, our pocket of depth, pulling down behind the ear. And then in the back, I'm gonna take my comb in the middle of the head, pull all the way down, and just create 2 basic sections for the back. So this is our final sectioning. Very simple. We have our narrow triangle at the top to preserve our depth. We have our 2 basic side sections, our front sections here, and the back. So let's get into the highlights. Okay, let's get into our highlights. We are gonna be using Flash Lift 8 and 10 volume at a 1 to 1.5 ratio. The reason I'm using this lightener is because I'm not looking for a really aggressive lift. She doesn't want to be super blonde. We still want to keep it in the gold family, and your tone starts with your control of your lightener. You don't want to just go in with something really, really strong. You have to think about it, especially when you're doing golden tones. We don't want to shoot for too high of a lift. We want to maintain some of the natural gold in the hair, and that's why I chose this lightener. On your tray, you should have your lightener, your weaving comb, foils, and a board. I like to use a board. It keeps things really clean and nice. So let's get into the highlight application. Okay, we are going to start in the back. I am going to take diagonal sections like so, bigger sections because we're not trying to create a lot of brightness, just a nice little kiss of color. So I would say my sections are about 2 inches thick. I'm gonna cut a 1/2 inch off of the top, and I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna do a medium weave. When I'm weaving, I always make sure to grab the outside sections, meaning this one and this one. You want your lightness to frame the sections. So starting here, bouncing through, grabbing both ends. Now I'm gonna tease. So when you're thinking about your teasing, you have to know where you want the dimension to start. So if you want it to be more blonde, you're gonna tease higher up. The lower down you go, the more dimension you get. Where you put your comb is where the dimension will start. So I'm gonna start down here. That's gonna give us a lot of nice dimension while maintaining the blonde tips. So nice dimension through her mids. Look down for me. I'm gonna push my comb in there to hold that tease. Take my board, lifting it up so that I can push the tees underneath it. My lightener, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna scrub at the base. If you've seen any of my tutorials, you know I like to scrub the base. That's gonna give us a nice blend. It's like brushing your teeth just on the hair. Blend, blend, pull down, and then saturate the ends. Make sure that you're splitting the hair open with the brush so that you can get a nice even saturation. And then I'm gonna fold once, fold twice, and close my foil up. And again, diagonal section, about 2 inches thick, preserving a lot of dimension. Don't get carried away. I like to get carried away and overfoil people. You gotta control yourself. Cutting off about a 1/2 inch on the top of that section, dropping down, coming in, weave, making sure I'm grabbing those framing pieces on the outsides of the sections, pulling down, teasing up my dimension. Take your board, push up on the hair, push the teasing underneath the board to keep it out. Go in, scrub the base for a nice blend, pull down, spreading the hair open to make sure you're saturating fully and you're not gonna get any warm spots. Folding once and twice. Perfect. Now I'm just gonna repeat that all the way up this whole section as well as this side. So it's the same repetitive thing over and over on both sides. I'll bring you back to show you what that looks like when it's fully applied. All right, we completed the back super fast and easy. I cut off these top 2 little sections for even more dimension in the back, just letting those lay over. Now we're gonna move on to her face frame, my favorite part. I'm gonna clip up this top section and I'm gonna come in on the sides. Do you wear your hair back a lot? Do you like slick it back?
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah? Okay, so if we have somebody that slicks their hair back like this a lot, I try not to do something completely vertical parallel to their face because it will grow out harsher. However, if they wear their hair down a lot, I do like to do it like that because it provides a lot of brightness. But in her case, we're gonna come in diagonal back sections like so. And I'm gonna do slices all the way up on these. I'm gonna take my comb a little bit higher than I did in the back. Preserve more brightness, full slice, no dropout. So we can get some nice brightness around her face.
Is it okay if I bring your goals in?
I'm gonna scrub at the base to create my blend. Pull down, spread the hair apart, making sure I have nice, even saturation. And then again, another slice. Scrub at the base, get close to the top there. Repeating that same thing all the way up this whole section. And then finally, our last one for this section is gonna be that top little triangle. We're gonna treat it exactly the same. It's gonna connect our front money piece section down to make sure that her hairline has consistent brightness. Gorgeous. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 back-to-back teased slices next to her ear. Now let's connect that. I'm gonna comb this up and let her little recession pieces drop down. It's gonna create a nice blend for us. I'm gonna slice straight across. I'm gonna back comb this. I'm gonna make sure it's not getting too transparent in the middle there where the hairs are shorter. Look down a little for me. Pushing those little hairs down with my board. Scrubbing at the base. Nicely painting that little front piece on right here. But still preserving some nice dimension there. I'm gonna take another thin slice right behind that slice. Look down. And I'm gonna do a little fine weave through here. Back comb. It's gonna be a nice little complementary highlight behind that slice. And then for our final face framing piece, I'm gonna do the same thing. A nice fine weave. Back comb. Okay, I'm actually going to set a timer for 10 minutes to check these foils. The face framing foils tend to process a lot faster than the rest because of the heat on the face, and I don't want this to process too high. I want my gold in there, so make sure you set a timer so that you can wipe them out if they're ready to make sure that you have that gold in there still. I'm gonna do this exact same thing on the other side, and then I'll bring you back for what we're gonna do for our final sections, the side sections. All right, we finished her face frame. Now we're gonna move into our final sections, the sides. And we're gonna come in diagonal back, and we're gonna work our way up like this, at this angle. We're gonna do about inch thick sections. So we're bringing it closer than the back. So most of our dimension is gonna live in the back, and as it comes to the front, it's gonna get brighter and brighter. So about an inch, cutting off that top layer, that top ½ inch layer, coming in and doing our weave, making sure that we're grabbing the outside pieces of that section. I'm gonna direct the hair forward like this. That makes sure that you grab those shorter pieces and they don't get teased up. Gonna back comb, scrubbing at the base, pulling down, making sure we're breaking those ends open. Blendy, blendy. Now our sections are very wide, so we're gonna break it into 2 foils. Look down. So everything's pushing forward. and then just repeating that same thing. And eventually we'll be able to combine back into one section as the section size shrinks again. Grabbing that section right next to it, cutting across, weaving through. And we're gonna continue doing this all the way up this section and on the other side. And then I'll bring you back to show you the final foils. I want this on my hair. Okay guys, the foils are all in, completed the application. Let's go over it one more time together. So we have our triangle of depth up here at the top. We have our two back sections. We did 2-inch thick diagonal back sections with a medium weave, teasing a lot of dimension up. Then we went and we did her face framing. We did slices all up the ears, one slice in the front at the top of the head with 2 weaves behind that, and then diagonal back inch thick sections all the way up the top of the head, and that completes the foiling. All right guys, it's been about 20 minutes, and like I said, I wanna keep an eye on these front foils to make sure they're not lifting past our gold levels. So let's take a look and see what she's giving. We are at a gorgeous level 8, nice and gold, really nice even lift. This is as high as we want to go. So I'm gonna go in and pull her face framing foils. I don't like to wipe them aggressively. You want to be gentle on bleached hair. I like to give it a little squeeze. So we're just gonna wipe out these face frame foils while the rest processes for about another 20 to 30 minutes. Okay guys, we finished rinsing out the foils and drying her for our final touch, which is going to be a Shades EQ melt to top this all off. But let's show her the raw highlights and see how she feels.
Oh my gosh, that looks so good.
Isn't it pretty? It's not even toned yet.
Yeah. No, but like I can tell it's gonna be good. I love how like the light on like.
I know
That looks so.
it's so good.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
This veil of dark over the top is really nice. It blends everything down. Perfect amount of brightness around the face, still natural. And I love the pops by the ears. That's my favorite part.
I love that it's not too much.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
We're not even done yet, girl.
Yeah.
All right, let's formulate our melt. All right, and now for the star of the show, Redken Shades EQ. So it's very important that we do it on a dry base. This is gonna ensure that it fully gets into the hair and she has long lasting color. So for her root, I chose 7N. We just wanna neutralize it. It's one level darker than the highlights lifted at the top. So nothing crazy, just a nice 7N. And we're gonna use the gloss to gel for control in the bowl. Makes it a little thicker, a little bit easier to manage. And then for the ends, we're gonna do equal parts of 9GI and 8WG. The GI is gonna cancel out a little bit of those unwanted tones, and the WG is gonna come back in and warm everything up and keep it really nice and bright. And we're using the processing solution. I'm gonna apply the ends formula first. I like to do this. It makes it easier to get the root on and make everything glide through. I'm gonna apply it with a bottle. I'm gonna section out the brightest pieces, those pieces around her face. I'm gonna tone those last. So just clip these away. Gorgeous. Okay, starting in the back, we're gonna apply in thick sections. Brush it through, ensuring even saturation. We're gonna work our way up the whole head. These highlights already blend so nicely. That's from the scrubbing, y'all. Don't forget that part. And we're just gonna go all over the whole head, leaving out those front pieces, just like this. Okay, we got our ends and mids toner applied. Now we're gonna go back in and do zone 1 with our 7N. We're gonna take thinner sections for this, and this is just gonna blend the tops of those highlights down, take them down one level to create a really nice gradients in the hair. Brushing through. Make sure you're using a brush that has metal bristles and they're wide. It's my favorite for blending. This already looks so good. We're gonna apply it just like this, all over her whole head, leaving out those front pieces for last. All right, now we're gonna come around to the front and apply that toner to these bright pieces. I am so excited to see this all done. It's gonna be gorgeous. Same thing on this side. Now we're gonna come in with our 7N. Just on the very top of these sections, just to melt it down a touch. Just on the surface. Gently brush that through. Same thing on this side. Beautimous. We are gonna let this sit for 20 minutes and then I'll bring you back to show you the final result. So good. Isn't it beauty?
Oh, I'm obsessed.
Me too. It looks so amazing.
So good. Thank you.
Of course.
So excited. I feel like doing it wrong.
A new girl. Scusi.
Love it.
Me too.
It looks so good. And it's like not, like I was worried it was gonna be like a little too blonde, but it's like perfect.
No, it's perfect. All right, guys, this is our final result. She looks so beautiful, so natural. This color complements her skin tone really well. I'm really happy.
Love it. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
So good.
All right, guys, that completes the tutorial. She is looking absolutely beautiful, and I can't wait for you guys to try this technique on your clients in the salon.